realized I was chewing gum up until pretty much the very last second. It's like I get enough done to go into the podcast and like kind of give you the thumbs up to start the countdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize I haven't done like 2 things that I needed to do. Anyways, welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz, and I'm joined by my microphone that we finally set up because the other broke, and my lovely co-host, Marcus. Marcus, the darling.
That is my name. First and last. And middle.
That's what we call him. And middle. Is your middle name the?
Yeah.
Nice.
You think my last name is the darling?
I guess I thought they were hyphen.
Mm-hmm. That's not.
That's upsetting. Anyways, happy NXT day. Always a good day. Always a fun day. I mean, was a fun day up until it became the Adam Cole super kicking the people he used to love day, which...
Still fun. Still a great episode.
Yeah, I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah, I
glad
remember
you're
the last
having
time
fun.
there was a bad NXT episode.
I'm not saying this was a bad NXT episode.
I'm just saying, like, we talk about Raw being bad all the time. But when was the last time there was a bad NXT episode? I'll answer that. Never. Actually, probably like early 2020, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't really like a lot of the Cruiserweight tournament stuff was kind of boring, but then they had Legato forming and Santos... Well, not Legato forming, but Santos revealing himself.
Right.
So even then, it's like I can't be that upset. And we had like the whole Drake Maverick thing.
I think once Johnny became heel, then it started getting consistently great. Because Johnny didn't become such a fantastic personality until he broke up DIY and became the goofy heel he is now.
I'm genuinely trying to think back to a time where it's like, I was like, didn't like that. Even if it's like, because like with SmackDown, it's like, I can't remember a specific episode that was shitty. I just remember SmackDown karaoke.
Yeah.
But even so, I can't like remember like one moment where I was like, well, this could have been significantly better.
An episode of NXT is a good episode of Raw.
And we've had a couple of episodes where we say the same thing, where it's like, but this was amazing in comparison to other stuff that we could have watched.
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown's been getting kind of to NXT's level lately.
SmackDown has been fun.
Especially since like they've been really delving into like making interesting matchups, really showing that they're pushing wrestlers. And I don't know if it's because in kayfabe it would be Sonya, but I think it would be that new creative person that they brought in.
Well, Christine only started about a month ago, so I wouldn't put it all on her shoulders.
Well, a month ago is about when it started getting like really good.
I would say it was a little while longer before that, because I mean, Hell in a Cell with Roman and Jay.
Yeah.
That was around the time that the tide started turning.
Yeah.
God damn, was that a... I will never forget that fucking match. I've like, there's been very few times where like I've ever watched wrestling and been like, damn, like, okay. But that genuinely, I guess there, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry, but I might.
Well, I feel like you're gonna get to that point again once we have the inevitable Adam Cole Kyle O'Reilly match.
It's so fucked up. My dude has been thinking about this. He like, because people were like, oh, like you must be kind of pissed off because like that was your title. You just went for that shit. Like, doesn't it kind of annoy you that like Kyle's going for it? And he was like, no, we're a family, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, you are. And then he does this, and I'm like,
today basically proved.
So were you lying to me?
Yeah, it basically proved that this is for the title. This is like. He doesn't want Kyle to be in the way of his championship, I guess. I'm.
But if you were to force, go on.
I'm kind of skeptical of it right now, of like how the whole situation is gonna go down. But I think next week it will kind of be ironed out a little bit. So maybe get some more motivation in there.
if you were to force your ex-teammate to kind of side with the guy that you want the title from, doesn't that sort of just fuck you over more?
Well, like Roddy said, it was purely out of emotion. I mean, as we saw today, it wasn't, but that was an explanation you could give it. I don't know. I think it was out of emotion at first, and then this time around it was like, well, you're actually like siding with him, and you're being an asshole right now, so I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you.
It was interesting because I forgot, I don't know how I did this, but I forgot Finn super kicking Adam that one time.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Well, no.
I forgot about that, and now it's like...
He didn't super kick him. He did what he did to Roddy today.
Oh, the overhead.
The Pele kick?
I think, yeah, that's a Pele kick. Which, you know, there we go. Maybe that's a sign. But it's just like... That almost makes me more so like, well, Kyle, you have to see why this would fuck your friend over a little bit. Like, all of a sudden, you're best buddies with the dude who betrayed him. Like,
you know where I could see this going? We were talking about earlier whether Kyle would be called up or Adam Cole would be called up because of this. I think this is gonna be Roddy's call up.
Really?
Roddy's been getting beaten down a lot because of this. He got beaten down by Finn today and by Oney and Danny as a result of this whole feud. And at this point, Adam's kind of leaving Roddy in the dust. Finn, who's on Kyle's side, is beating on him, even though he's trying to be nice. Roddy could just be like, that's it. I can't take this anymore. You're both assholes. I'm out of here.
Bobby Fish comes back to a carcass of a home.
No, Bobby Fish never comes back.
Stop! Bobby Fish is a good boy. He's just kind of an idiot. And he's my idiot, so...
He's a moron. But...
There's no proof saying that he did anything with Drake Words besides get dragged to a fucking QAnon festival.
He's done a couple things with Drake Words, because I've seen Drake Words pop up in his Instagram several times.
Well, they're both, like, I think part of the same church.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't count. You've got family that's part of a church, and they're not QAnon.
Yeah. That I know of.
I'm being nice here.
But we should get into the news.
We should get into being nice to me. Got him!
Smash the sign.
Somehow this falls over still, knocks everything off the desk again. God. Alrighty, tidy, righty. I don't know, where the fuck do we want to start today? God, let's start with the who's here, who's gone, and who's injured. That's basically the percent of news. MVP injured, I think. I don't know. So MVP had like one of those weird injuries on Raw on Monday where it was like you didn't really see anything happen to him, but he got into the ring, he was limping, which could easily be a poorly written kayfabe injury, or could be he's an old man and tweaked his knee.
The thing is, if it's kayfabe, I don't see why it would be. Like, there's no story reason for it to happen. So I do very much think that it was real, especially since the part of the match with MVP and Riddle was super short. Like, MVP was pinned super fast. And I think that really, like, once MVP tweaked something, he wanted to call the match, just end it there. And then they had extra time with the episode. That's when AJ Styles, before the gauntlet, had to make his whole promo in the beginning of it, which was basically him saying nothing because Vince really needed him to just fill time, and that was the only place where they could really do it.
He just chuckled with Omos, which I'm not going to complain about. But yeah, so it was reported that he went to Birmingham, Alabama, to a place there, some orthopedic surgeon that I guess they use a lot, like WWE. But he said specifically, and I'm trying to find, he denied that report. MVP specifically denied it. I mean, PW Insider was the one that said it in the first place, and I was like, well, I kind of trust PW Insider. But it just said, he said, someone told me the dirt sheets are reporting I went to Alabama to see surgeons. You guys should stop reading what those idiots report. They're always wrong. I don't know. And this is the shit that I hate with fucking wrestling, where it's like, I don't know the truth anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure.
I always think the best way to go about it is thinking that it's real, because worst case, it's not real and you look like a mark. On the flip side, worst case, you look like an asshole because you thought this real injury was just a part of the storyline, and you end up like those people who thought that Brody Lee's death was part of the story.
Those people were still. I kind of got that like for 5 seconds. I got it, and I was like, because I just heard Brody Lee dead, and I was like, wrestling. And then I read one article, and I was like, okay, well, that's not the fucking case. And it's hard with injuries because it's like sometimes people get injured and you're like, oh, sad, and then you find out later that they just like asked for time off. And like with something like a knee injury on somebody as old as MVP, it's like, well, who's to say, really? Anywho, on top of that, I'm trying to do something here and it's just not working out for me really well. There we go. So Carlito, I guess, there was some speculation for a while because it wasn't really clear whether he was coming back or not. He had a trial as a producer, but honestly, considering all the budget cuts, it's kind of no-brainer that whatever he had is not going forward. But he did say in the first place a couple of weeks ago that he just wanted to end his career the way he wanted to end it. But apparently he's not officially with the company. And he said, man, who knows? As of now, I'm open to whatever kind of ideas out there. Right now, I'm on my own. I'm just open to whatever comes my way. He was asked apparently about joining AEW, and he said, whatever great ideas out there, I'm willing to listen and see if I fit in there somehow. So he's really just like, I don't care. Hire me?
Yeah.
If you feel like wrestling, go for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really excited for Carlito to be back and actually be wrestling again and looking like he's in top form. I feel like he would be an incredible grab for AEW.
Oh yeah, he would definitely be. I think he would fit him really well there because he's kind of got sort of that older style, like visually, and I think AEW kind of thrives on that. A lot of their wrestlers kind of typically have a more early 2000s-y kind of look, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All the way down to like their little Lizard King man.
Except Dark Order. I think they're the only group that doesn't have that early 2000s look, which is ironic because they're like the heel group of AEW.
That's true. Moxley doesn't really.
Right, yeah.
He also just looks like a man, so...
he looks like John Moxley. He looks like Renee's husband.
So, just like Seth is Becky Lynch's fiance.
Yeah.
This is a side note, but I just want to say. So I got something for the shit that was on my eye. And this brush that comes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, it's like the
Not
same brush for every
sponsored.
single one. Not sponsored. If they want to sponsor me, don't send me this fucking brush. This side is so coarse, and now my eyelid feels like it's on fire. So.
And that's
what I'm suffering through.
Makeup time with Liz.
Ding! Do I sound better, by the way, in your opinion?
You do. I'm hearing a little
same?
bit of background noise. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it can easily be picked out with the right effect.
As long as it's not like so bad that you're just like, who the fuck is talking? So in addition to other people coming and going, Bo Dallas released a status update. Or rather, Dave Meltzer released, a Bo Dallas status update. Saying he's apparently still with WWE. He's got a problem that creative has nothing for him, just like Buddy Murphy. Apparently, no one really knows why. He's just not around. He was never cut. They just genuinely don't know what the fuck to do with him. And I'm like, see, I've got an idea. Put him on Raw and just do something. Just something. Takes 5 seconds. Just drop him into any of the feuds. I'm sure it'll be fine.
If there's anything Raw doesn't need, it's another talent. I think he should go to SmackDown.
No way. Raw needs 3 hours of fresh shit. And Raw doesn't have that. Raw has this 3 hours of the same people every fucking night. It's painfully boring and monotonous. If they had it so that, like, you know how, like, tonight we didn't see Tim Matcher, which is a crime. But at least it still has me like, oh, I can't wait to see him again. Like, I can wait to see Drew again. I can wait to see Randy again. I can wait to see just about everyone on the Raw roster besides, like, Keith Lee, because we didn't see him last week. And I'm not even sure he exists right now.
Yeah.
But he did also get engaged, so.
I see what you mean. Because I was thinking more along the lines of, like, why bring in somebody new when you could just write better for the people that you have? I
think it's, like, the problem is...
They're trying to show everyone's faces every week.
Yeah, I think what is needed really is just... If you have 3 hours of content that you need to fill, get 3 hours worth of people that are interesting to watch.
Right. Like, they have... do they have, like, the same size roster as SmackDown? But, like, an hour
Maybe a little
longer?
bigger, but not by much.
Because, like, with the draft, they get the same amount of picks, right?
I think they got, like, a couple more. Like, 4 more? I think. I could be wrong, actually.
Actually, I think Raw might have, like, double the size of SmackDown. Because I think for every 1 pick that SmackDown gets, Raw gets 2. Something like that.
Well, start realizing that they got. That's just me, though. However, you know, cool. Lacey's pregnant. Peyton. The singles run we were promised.
Yeah. They have good justification for it. Saying that she was fucked over in that match by Lacey, and now she's just gonna go on her own.
I think it's a plan. Alright, so we also signed Millie McKenzie to NXT UK, I believe. It's just another one of the 5 billion and 9 signings that the WWE has done, and like another one of the 500 that have gone over to NXT UK, which is exciting because NXT UK, one, needs women. The fact that, like, I think there's now Miko, Kaylee, Piper, Zaya, Isla, Ify, Fashion Lady, Amal,
Indi? Is that who you meant?
Ginny. No, Ginny is technically the Fashion Lady. Have I missed anyone?
You got Piper, right?
Yep, Piper's in there.
The
I mean, she's one of my favorites.
what's the name of the new woman who just came over from Japan?
Miko was the first one I talked about.
I think that's it.
So, Millie McKenzie.
Not a
You can't
bad
see me.
size. I think it's roughly the same
For
size as
an
regular NXT.
For an hour-long show, it's not a bad size. When you compare it to the men's size, and you're like, okay. But you know, that's just more of a reason for Walter to come over here, and
Don't think it is.
yet I think it is. Seriously. All right. Now let's see. We also got LA Knight, and we knew about this. We talked about this already. But the WWE trademarked his name, and it's LAKNIGHT. That's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they spelled it like nighttime, night.
In the trademark?
In the trademark filing. Yeah.
Whoever did that is definitely getting fired.
Oh, yes, indeedly.
Feel bad for the poor man or woman.
I mean, I think that LA Knight is just a stupid fucking name anyways, because isn't that like a basketball team or something?
No,
The
it's
Los
a
Angeles
shoe.
Knights?
It's a shoe. It's a Nike shoe.
That's worse.
But I think it works if his personality is as ridiculous as the name, and it seems like it will be.
True.
But given that he was with the same crew as like Wade Barrett, I think it could work. Plus, if he's on the goofy side of NXT, maybe with like Johnny Gargano, it could really work.
I think it could lead to a funny promo.
Yeah.
Someone's just like, you're literally named after a shoe, dude. I respect him.
Yeah, just people making fun of his name. I don't know. I feel like they won't do that actually because, like, somebody from creative would actually have to write that in, and then say like Trips or something might get mad.
But it's Trips. I mean, you can fucking slander your whole ass name, and Trips is still sitting there like, well, I think he's a good boy. Fine,
Yeah.
it's fine. Anyways.
Yeah. You can allegedly fraternize with underage people and still be a good person in Trips' eyes. Allegedly.
And then Trips will clamor for you to come over to NXT. Actually, to be fair, apparently Austin Theory is supposed to be going back to the main roster soon.
I was not talking about Austin Theory, but fits under that umbrella.
He did. Yeah, so that's interesting. That was not part of my news. Just felt like saying something. So that's all I've got for that section of my news. But then we've got apparently WWE management traveled to Saudi Arabia. Apparently they met in Dublin. The plane left from Westchester though, which is cool. Sorry. But they met with the king of Saudi Arabia, I guess, and
I didn't realize there were still kings in the world.
Oh no. I'm so sorry. I'm fucked that up entirely. The plane left the King Khaled International Airport, but I do think they still have kings. They've got princes.
I think it was Prime Minister.
No, I don't think so.
Saudi Arabia. Let's see.
I think it's still a monarchy.
Yeah. King Salman of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. They're one of the last monarchies. So I know like the last one in Europe is in, it starts with an M.
Oh wow, a lot of countries still have kings.
Moldova. No, not Moldova.
see, Brunei, Swaziland,
Swaziland.
Saudi Arabia, Bhutan, Monaco, Bahrain,
Monaco.
Liechtenstein, Vatican City, United
Well, to be
Arab
fair,
Emirates, and Oman.
I don't know if in Liechtenstein, like, the king also has a ton of say.
Kind of like
You know?
England, where the Queen doesn't do a whole lot.
Right. I guess if they're part of the list and England isn't, then maybe they do. I don't really know much about Liechtenstein. It's about the size of my fingernail on the map, so.
Yeah.
And I would know because I was obsessed with some people from Liechtenstein for a while. They were cyclists.
So
I'm cultured.
Do we have any other news?
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should say. But apparently this is the first time the plane has been overseas since February of last year for the Super Showdown event in Saudi Arabia. It's looking like they're trying to do another Saudi Arabian event, which there is a huge fan base, so I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know if like now is like the time for this stuff. Like, just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends.
It's not like you're fighting with other promotions to get over there, because right now I think AEW has their sights set on Japan.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to be like, oh, well, AEW is performing in Saudi Arabia today, so I can't do it. You know?
Yeah, I it makes me think, like, has the pandemic been holding WWE back because they genuinely don't want their roster to get sick and care about the spread of the pandemic? Or has it been holding them back because they legally cannot have crowds?
I think you need to wonder on that one. I think the answer is obvious.
I have hope, though. I have hope.
We really shouldn't. Not with these people. So we also apparently have a first episode of a new NXT show.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally been filmed. Trying to find. Of course, I don't have it. But it's called NXT Evolve. They just finished filming their first episode of it, I guess. I don't really know what the vibe is going to be at, but apparently it's reincorporating Evolve Wrestling. After Gabe Sapolsky sold the rights last year.
I think it's gonna be developmental, because they're turning NXT into just a third brand, and so they'll use this NXT Evolve into being an actual developmental brand again.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because they did just sign a ton of fucking people. The funniest thing to me, listen to the article and tell me what it sounds like to you. As reported by Fightful, a pilot was filmed for a show called NXT Evolve. It was filmed at a warehouse and reportedly has a more fight-like atmosphere.
Raw Underground?
Brother?
I really hope, I genuinely hope it replaces 205 Live.
Well, the thing I'm seeing here is, you know what it'll probably be, actually? I would bet you money, like genuine money. You know when this will be on?
When?
Right now.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of, pardon me, NXT reincorporating indie promotions because I think that's what they need. And I think that's why NXT works so well because NXT has a way more indie vibe than anything else. I think that's probably for the best at this point. But finally, additional details on the new social media policy at the WWE were released. Dave Meltzer apparently said like as an example, if somebody was doing a video and like was eating an Oreo cookie, they wouldn't get fired. But if they were to mention the company Oreo, and he said, like, I don't know if Dave Meltzer said, I don't know if it's a mention or a hashtag. It might just be a hashtag, but then they could get fined.
Well, first it's a warning, right? And then it's a fine. That's what I read in the article I saw. Also, welcome Biggie.
So if you read that, then it's probably... Well, welcome Biggie. It's nice of you to join us. I know you have a really busy schedule. But apparently, you can't talk about any other.
There, like, can you not talk about video games? Like, can Xavier Woods not mention like Nintendo or whatever game they're playing?
Well, I'm sure he can because I think WWE is making money off of Up Up Down Down now.
But
since,
like,
you know, the t-shirts are off their shop.
But like, I saw Xavier Woods was tweeting about the Nintendo Direct that happened today, like tweeting, like live tweeting all the new games that were being announced and all that. So, is that not allowed?
I don't know. I really don't. And I know for a fact that like apparently even for people who like change their like names on like social media to like their real names or whatever, still susceptible to this because technically WWE owns your likeness, which
so LA Knight is fucked then, because his Twitter handle's still Eli Drake.
Change that.
Also, Toxic Biggie, we are definitely not watching the new Rock TV show, Young Rock. We are not. That looks...
Part of me wants to.
Yeah, part of me wants to too, just to see like
it
the
looks
history.
Bad. It looks bad, but also at the same time, the actor that plays him when he's, I guess, in like middle school or something, looks just like Rock did way back when. It's strange.
Also, I just want to say we are 45 minutes into the podcast, and
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. Cap.
All right. So, matches and promos of this great episode.
First thing in a while that we started with a promo and just a match.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not start with this promo?
I could tell you all the reasons why we didn't have to start with this promo.
Liz, I understand.
It hurt my feelings.
Your boys are fighting, but think of the greater good.
My ladies. Why are they doing this?
All right, so we start off with Kyle O'Reilly coming out to the ring. He's saying that everybody had a good thing going in Undisputed Era, and then Adam ruined it all by stabbing him in the back. He just wants Adam to come out and face him so he can find out why he did it. He says he'll probably punch him in the face, but he wants to hear him out. Undisputed Era walkout plays. Roderick Strong comes out. And Kyle's just shouting, No, Adam, come out. I didn't ask for you, Roddy. Adam Cole, come out. But Roddy's just
like, Roddy, come out?
Roddy says Adam did what he did based solely on emotion, saying that Adam regrets it. But Kyle wants Adam to explain it. He's yelling at Roddy, He wants Adam to explain this instead of Roddy. But Roddy starts to approach the ring, starts to get in, and Kyle doesn't want Roddy to get in because he doesn't trust him. And then Finn Balor comes out. I thought Finn was just going to stay out of this feud and just let bygones be bygones with them. But it seems like Finn really took that super kick personally.
Oh, cry me a river, Phineas.
He did the same thing to Adam Cole.
I do love it.
Back at the later times of the DIY, he did the same thing to Adam Cole. So
Love Finn, but like he's breaking me.
Finn comes out. Kyle is once again yelling at Finn. He wants Adam, not Finn. But Finn is also looking for Adam. He wants Kyle to get in line to find Adam. Or rather, he said he's looking for Kyle, but he wants Kyle to get in line to find Adam. And Finn said what happened because Kyle offered his hand to him, and he accepted it. Roddy starts backing Kyle for this. Just wanting to be on his friend's side. But then Oney, Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Pete Dunne come out and start beating them up. I'm liking these Brits. I consider Oney a Brit now, just beating without remorse, without any words, just non-stop pummeling. After that, we have a promo with William Regal on Zoom saying that he got a call from Santos Escobar, and that plays, or a little video from Santos plays, and Santos is in his car, gets out of his car and says, "I'm going home," gets right back in the car, and it turns out the match will take place next week. However, if Santos doesn't show up, he will be suspended indefinitely and have to forfeit the title. And then that takes us right into a tag team match between Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Candice and Indi versus Ember and Shotzi. Shotzi and Candice start the match off for us. There's a dropkick to Candice from Shotzi, and Ember gets right on in.
Should also mention that Johnny Gargano is on commentary as well.
He has lost his Austin Theory, and he has flyers to find his Austin Theory. Which, you know, Dexter did the Lord's work and took him out of our fucking eyes. I could not thank him enough for that.
But
anyways, Ember gets in.
I just want to say, let's be honest. Dumbass, numbskull Austin Theory has been so amazing for the Gargano way. I love it. It's so funny.
It makes me mad because I wish it were literally anyone else, because Austin Theory plays a dumbass so well.
He does.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot. And then I'm like, but it's Austin Theory, god damn it.
It comes so naturally to him.
Oh, I am sure there's maybe half a brain cell in that head one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't excuse what he allegedly did, but still. Anyhow. So Ember gets in, she splashes Candice in the corner and gets Shotzi right back in. The basement dropkick from Ember to Shotzi, not Shotzi, god damn it, from Ember to Candice, and then a pump knee strike to Candice from Shotzi. Indi and Shotzi are in together post-commercial break. We get a nice little team offense to Indi, and then Ember gets in. The team offense, which I should have I didn't edit my notes. Sorry. But the team offense was an overhead kick from Ember to Indi and a drop kick from Indi, or from Shotzi to Indi, to both Candice and Indi. Ember was the legal man thereafter. I don't really know what the fuck she did. But Shotzi gets back in right after the team offense. She kicks Indi in the face with a spinning back heel, gets Ember back in. They really have the whole, fresh man in mentality down pat. Candice strikes Shotzi, who has her legs around Indi's neck. This frees Indi, and leads to her kicking Ember in the face. Candice gets in. She gets a crossface on Ember. Ember lifts her, but Candice sends her backwards. We get a clothesline to Ember from Candice and Indi back in. We get an elbow to Ember and a sidewalk slam. Candice gets back in after that. Ember kicks Indi away. Johnny at this point is pestering Vic and asking him if he misses Austin Theory's presence, and Vic begrudgingly says, "If it makes you happy, man, yeah, I miss him." Like, Vic, you put up with so much, my sweet little bean. Oh.
He's a king.
He is my absolute prince, and fucking him and Wade with their matching suits. I was like, stop. I love it. Anywho. So Indi gets in, and there's a kick to the midsection of Ember. Ember hits back with a nasty fuck for him. Candice LeRae gets in, and there's a kick to the face from Indi to Shotzi. Candice crossbody Shotzi. Shotzi and Indi are the legal men after this, or women, I guess. There's a step up in security to Indi, and she blocks a step up in security to Indi. Shotzi blocks a boot to the midsection and then sends an elbow back into Indi's head. We get a pump kick and bulldog to Indi. Shotzi manages a hold on Indi. Candice comes in and walks on Shotzi's back and then sentons onto her to break that hold up. Ember then gets Candice into a suplex, and Indi spine busters Ember after that move has been executed. Shotzi then clotheslines Indi, and Candice gets back in. Shotzi super kicks Indi after like a really botched. Alright, Shotzi super kicked Candice, I think, because like Indi grabbed her and then dropped her. And just kind of stood there for a second.
Yeah.
And we all were just like sitting there like,
this was bad. This was very bad.
That was not a good moment at all. I did, however, realize that Indi is a massive human being.
Very tall.
I think putting her next to Candice makes me like realize I'm like, oh, you're an Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Love that for her, honestly. Let's see. Right. So Ember gets in. Shotzi uses Candice to knock Indi out before dropping her into her knee. We get up and down to Candice from Ember. Indi gets back in. Austin. Oh, mind you, sorry, I forgot all of this. During the match, a scary looking van pulls up, and I'm like, well, Dexter's driving it, so it's fine. But Johnny goes out to investigate. He leaves the announce desk for a while. Finally, he does return at this moment here with Austin in tow, looking like he just got back from like fucking spring break in Miami, except zip tied and
bag on his head.
Oh yeah, but also I think he was like gagged or something. There was something around his mouth.
He was also wearing a very high cut crop top, fanny pack, flip flops. I just think it's funny with like the gag because I'm just like, again, Dexter Lumis doing the most, doing more than Trips ever could, just keeping that idiot silent. But Austin comes back, and this distracts Indi and Candice. Indi is like thrilled at first and then runs at Ember because she's like, oh fuck, I'm still in a match. And Ember drops her into a backbreaker over her knee to win. Doesn't really seem pissed off though because she's just happy Austin Theory is back, which is never the way I would have imagined my reaction, but Right after that, we have a little promo from Pat McAfee calling from his private airplane. Very convenient. Very convenient that we see him again right after Adam Cole attacks Kyle. We're seeing some undisputed tension. He says, turns out Adam Cole was a scumbag all along. I am actually genuinely excited to see what Pat can add to this feud. I am so excited.
Remember the good old days back when the Dusty Rhodes was still happening and we were like, oh man, I bet Undisputed Era is gonna win, so then they can finally like close out that feud with like Danny and Oney, and it's gonna be so fun. They're gonna get the tag team titles back, and now I'm sitting here like, I remember what we once had.
I knew.
Those were good days.
Before Dusty Rhodes started, I was like, I knew for a fact that the brand was gonna stay as like the heel faction. In fact, I thought Pete was gonna win the title from Finn. I was like confident in that. But turns out we were both wrong. And then after that, we had a little interview from Kushida. He says he's not done with Johnny, but he was honored to have that match to begin with. Then Bronson Reed walks in. He said he wants his opportunity for the North American title as well, but he's happy for Kushida. He's still being a good guy and congratulating him. What's that face for?
I just realized Walter's going to come back when Pat comes back, because then we've got two stables. Even if they don't interact, it still makes sense. And then on top of that, we just have to wait until Finn is done getting beaten up by Adam Cole, because then Walter's going to come and be like, hey, you little bitch, I'm here now. I run this fucking show. And I'm going to say, yay! Yay, Walter! Woo!
I don't know about that, because I don't know how long this Adam-Finn feud is going to go. If it takes us to Mania, I could see that as being the Mania match, Finn versus Adam Cole. Even though we kind of already got that.
I feel like Walter versus Finn. Walter versus Finn sounds more.
It does. It does. But I don't know. I don't think the cards are lining up right now for that. I don't think they are. We'd have to see like what happens with Undisputed Era and how long Finn stays in this feud, but it seems like he's in it for the long haul. But
in the good old days back when like Undisputed Era did their sexy little suit promos.
Back when Bobby Fish was still a member. Bobert's
literally just sitting at Bob. But Bob is probably just sitting at home like, Jesus fucking Christ.
But back to the promo. Malcolm Bivens then walks in talking to Kush.
Stop. Don't use my nicknames against me here.
He said he wants Kush to compete against Tyler Rust tonight, and it would be a huge honor for both of them. I don't think we ever get a formal agreement from Kush, but that match does happen later on tonight. And then we move on to Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. What?
Adam Cole's height is 6 foot.
That is not true.
I feel like I'd meet him and I'd be like staring him eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
That's a short little man. What are you talking about? 6 foot? You're telling me, isn't like Charlotte 6'2"?
Charlotte's like
6'0" as well. 6 foot as well. Wait, Charlotte. Oh, yeah, that's how you spell Flair. She's built at 5'10", but still, if Charlotte Flair's built at 5'10", Adam Cole's an Oputian.
I forget who the person was, but there was a side by side of like Adam Cole standing right next to somebody who was billed at I think 5'11", and Adam Cole is billed at 6 foot. So, and the other guy just towers over Adam Cole. So it doesn't make sense. None of these heights make sense.
Yeah, no. I think it was Zack Sabre Jr. Because Zack Sabre Jr. is billed at the same height, and Zack Sabre Jr. is a string bean of a man. I said that's 1, not true, and 2, Charlotte Flair's fucking humongous.
Yeah.
You're telling me she's 5'10", You're telling me that if I met her, I wouldn't be looking up at her like I did with like my father when I was like 5? No. Silly. Anyways. What are we talking about today?
Swerve and Leon.
Oh God, why must I? Alright. Leon Ruff comes out swinging absolutely wildly. No luck at all. But we get some sexy little arm drags. Ruff just fucking drops Swerve. He hits him with some forearms and another deep ass arm drag to Swerve. Ruff starts working on Swerve's arm for a little bit. We get a pump knee strike to Mr. Ruff and a backbreaker. We get a pump kick to the side of Ruff's head on the apron. When we get back into the ring at that point, Swerve gets some body scissors on Mr. Ruff, and then sorry, my notes are weird. Ruff gets some forearms, a clothesline onto Swerve. Get one, I think one of the sexiest moves in my opinion at this point, which is the cutter. That shit's nasty. That's a mean fucking move. And Ruff does it so well.
Yeah. He does everything well.
He gets that off. That's true. Even when he botches shit, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, he did it wonderfully. That's buddy. But he gets a cutter off on Swerve. Swerve starts punching Ruff in the midsection. We get a double stomp to the neck of Swerve. However, Swerve then clotheslines Ruff basically inside out. Swerve gets Ruff into a torture rack and then drops him. But as he drops him, Ruff counters with a crucifix pin in order to win. And Swerve says, "Oh, fuck no, that's not happening." And just beats the piss out of Leon Ruff. And I said, "Swerve, no offense, baby boy. You haven't won a match in God only knows how long, and you're starting to annoy me." By starting, I mean you've been annoying me for the last couple of however long.
Also, are we still...
Man got a grill and suddenly was like, "I am king shit." And I said, "I don't know about that, buds."
Are we still treating Leon Ruff like every win he gets as a an upset?
Nah.
That's what they said when he won this match. It's an upset.
Oh. I thought you were just asking me in general. I was like, no.
No, they literally said, "What an upset."
I guess... When you consider it, like, yeah, I guess in theory, like, because Ruff is so scrawny and skinty. I don't know. I was just gonna say, I'm ready for Jesus Christ. I'm ready for Swerve to become somebody that I care about again. I cared about him. I know. It's like it was literally after the Johnny Gargano match. Just went downhill. And maybe this is why I hate Santos, because Santos like fucking like I love how Santos cuts a promo, at least in the ring. When Santos is fighting other people, like I'm excited for the carrying match. Really, I am. But I feel like the 900 Swerve Santos matches that we got made me hate both of them. I'm coming around to Mendoza. I've been coming around to Mendoza. We came around to Wild a couple days ago. Santos, I feel like I can hit that edge soon. But that was, I think, the same thing with like Apollo and Bobby for a while, where I was just like, we need to do something else. Literally anything.
Yeah. But right after that match, right as we get into the Kacy Catanzaro, Kayden Carter versus Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea match, we have a little picture-in-picture promo of Kacy and Kayden talking about Zaya. Oh, she's not being normal. Tired of this whole storyline. I'm not interested anymore. I'm interested to find out more about the weird lady. But everything else, I don't care.
I used to care. I cared when we did that little illustration promo.
When they started involving Kacy and Kayden, like, long term, I stopped caring.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, I don't know. At least Saya has some cool gear.
Yeah, she's got cool gear. She's got a cool walkout. Boa that looks fantastic.
I just want to see Boa wrestle. Didn't realize I was asking for that much.
But would you like to dive into the next match?
I literally would rather not. Anyways, Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden versus Jessie and Aaliyah. It is kind of funny to me that Jessie, Camilla, and Aaliyah. You blame Jessie for a lot of the botches. I'm blaming Kacy for a lot of them, and maybe it's just me because I don't like Kacy anymore, but I'm blaming her, so. We get a failed arm drag takedown to Jessie. Basically, Kacy was supposed to hold on to her arm, or the takedown aspect, because you gotta take somebody down to the mat. But Kacy, like, let go of her arm, and Jessie, Camilla just kind of stood there like, what the fuck do I do now? And to be fair, I know that a good wrestler can counter botches, like Cesaro. But I feel like Jessie doesn't get enough time in the ring to really have that, like, knowledge of, like, okay, this is what I do when somebody fucks everything up. But anyways, Kayden gets in. We get a tandem offense, and they send Jessie into the ropes neck first. I'm sorry, this match bore the shit out of me too.
It was so bad. This was like the worst match we've seen in a long time.
This was bad. But luckily, at least, to follow it up with a promo that we loved. All I know is that at one point, Kacy's back in. We get the most botched head scissors I've seen in a while, and it's because Jessie can't sell a botched head scissors. But Kacy's feet left Jessie's head so early on in the head scissors that, like, Jessie was still in a fully standing position. And just kind of, like, looked like, well, fuck. And to be fair, again, like, you kind of said, oh, that's Jessie's fault. And I was like, at least she knew to trip herself and go over her own head, which seems difficult enough.
You did it way too late. Like, we've seen Kacy.
Way too late, but
We've seen Kacy do that, and normally a flying head scissors with Kacy, she's not heavy enough to bring anyone down, whether they fake it or not.
She didn't connect.
Yeah, but she hasn't connected before. Like she's not connected before. Jessie just stood there for a second and then gave the latest sell I've ever seen.
Can I just say that I think maybe Kacy has been around long enough that she could just make less of those mistakes. Because if what you're saying, if your validation for this is Kacy fucks it up all the time, and we just have seen a lot of wrestlers that were good enough to counter that fuck up.
Well, because it's 50-50. A good move is 50-50. It's half nailing the move from the person giving it and half selling the move to where it looks good. Like when we saw Grand Metalik in Lucha House Party versus Cesaro and Shinsuke, when Grand Metalik had all those botches, Grand Metalik was botching a lot, but Cesaro managed to sell those moves as if they hit properly.
I guess my thing is more so I've seen more of Jessie Camilla doing shit that I was like, oh damn, than I've seen with Kacy. The Kacy's just cute and like a flyer. Mm-hmm. Just like, okay, cool. You and everybody else. At least Jessie, I've seen her do shit where I'm like, okay. And that's why I feel like I'm quicker to just be like, okay, Kacy, you fucking sucked.
I mean, I don't like either wrestler, so I'm not arguing for one side or the other. I'd quicker say that they both fucked up, which they did.
I see more potential in Jessie, at least, than I see in Kacy. I feel like Jessie has the ability to be a hard-hitting wrestler.
I think Kacy's already peaked. I also don't think
being in a... Kacy's already peaked?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't think that being in a tag team with Aaliyah, I mean, Aaliyah stood in the corner getting punched, and she just went.
Like she was dancing. Oh, don't forget the arms were up too.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
This match was awful. Can we just skip through the whole match and just like move on? Can we do that?
Oh, don't worry. I've got like 2 more notes. I've got 2 more notes. Kayden gets in. She punches Jessie. Aaliyah gets in. She's getting punched and clotheslined in the corner. There's the feet to the back of Aaliyah. Kayden gets back in, which Kayden was already in. I didn't note when Kacy got in at this point, I guess. Or Kacy got back in. All I know is that Kacy went off the top buckle into Aaliyah's neck. Kayden was holding Aaliyah at that point and brought her down into a neckbreaker to win. Stupid fucking moveset. I hate. And this is one of the things I think New Day does it, and they do it pretty well most of the time. But there are times where I'm just like, it's like they have somebody bent backwards, like over their leg, and they gently doink them down into a neck breaker, and then the other person comes down like double stomps like they're like midsection, and that's the finisher. And it's like, I'm sorry, yeah, maybe like you'd stress like my abs a little bit, but to gently bring me down, it's not a neck breaker. We saw like a back breaker today. That may have been a backbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
When I see shit like that,
Toxic B said, "I'm gonna do that in the middle of the dance floor."
Just call it the Aaliyah. But it's just like that's like one of those finishers that I always hate because it's like you can't effectively do like a stationary neck breaker or stationary back breaker. It does not work. It does not translate. It is silly.
Randy looks silly. Randy's done stationary neck breakers before.
Has he? I trust Randy to do it.
That's practically been his whole life, so.
Yeah, I mean, RKO, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways.
After that horrid match, we have a promo with Malcolm Bivens in the locker room with Tyler Rust. And just talking about the match with Kushida later. But then we have the presenting of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy. Beth Phoenix is doing the presentation, and first MSK comes out. They say, "Thank you, Beth. Before we start, we just want to get something out of our system." They start cheering and going wild, and as they get in the ring and just start immediately admiring the trophy, these guys have so much energy, and it feels so nice, so fresh in the tag team scene. They said they are challenging Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch on March 3rd. And then just after, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai come out. They get to the trophy as well. And before they can really say anything, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax come out. And now MSK are in the corner of the ring, kind of. Oh no, as Nia and Shayna are coming in, MSK lift up the ropes for them, just like they did for Raquel and Dakota, being little gentlemen. And then
saying
they go,
if Nash Carter wants to marry somebody, I'm always here.
They then go to the corner, and then they have popcorn out of nowhere. Nia and Shayna and Dakota and Raquel start like having a little bit of an argument. Dakota mentions Rhea beating Shayna. And then Raquel says, I just beat Raquel in a last man standing match. Shayna said that Dakota is actually scared for her life, similar to how when when Shayna broke Dakota's arm. What were you saying?
You said Raquel in a last woman standing match. Raquel said that she had just beaten Rhea in a last woman standing match. Oh,
that's what I meant. And while all this is happening, MSK are watching from the corner with their popcorn in hand, giving us great meme content. At one point, Beth Phoenix even joins them and starts eating popcorn and watching from the corner. Really proving why NXT is the best promotion. And then they said that March 3rd, I don't remember who said this, but March 3rd will be when Nia and Shayna defend their tag team title against Raquel and Dakota. But before they leave, Raquel gives some parting words, saying that she'll shove a boot so far up her hole, and that caused Wesley to faint. I love this so much. This is so good.
That's how you reference meme.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you reference a meme without making it look cheesy.
Yeah.
God. Watching the ladies alone, if this was just them in the promo, fine. I would have been more than okay. To have Wes and Nash sitting there, Wes just comfortably like right next to Nash's little leggies, them sharing popcorn with Beth.
Perfect.
The friendship that Wes and Nash have as it is just so lovely to me.
Yeah.
I love boys being pals so much. So I love watching them in general. And to watch them doing like it's like the very classic New Day shit too. It just
friends being pals.
So good. Plus Beth.
Yeah.
Who looked fabulous tonight.
She did.
Plus a bunch of women that I'm attracted to talking shit at each other in the middle of a ring, like, okay, sure. Elizabeth gets everything, but also no Tim Thatcher and no Imperium, so. What am I here for, Trips?
Oh, well. And then right after that promo, we get another music video from Cameron Grimes, the same song as last time, but this one ends with Cameron Grimes' car being wrecked.
Do you think he actually wrecked that, or do you think that they did something special?
I'm sure they did it themselves. I don't think Cameron Grimes actually got into a car accident because, I mean, the camera guys were there. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe, but it's doubtful. It's doubtful. But Cameron Grimes was just like, screw it, I'll buy a new one. Oh my god, it was so good. Also, I realize we haven't mentioned this podcast. We mentioned it in the last one, but we've officially switched the wheel to no longer being 4 times a show. We're switching it to every 50 bits that we get, we'll spin the wheel, and that might change as time goes on, but that's what we're at right now.
Yes. Also, I just want to say, Mark got me this. It's kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
It's honey or hard kombucha. Because God forbid I drink kombucha like a real person. And it's honey ginger lemon. This tastes like alcoholic lemon juice. Like, which if you don't know me, that's pretty much the only alcoholic beverage I've ever needed in this life. So I'm trying to... I want to have a straw in it, but I don't know if that's going to be reality. Anyways. I think did you include the promo about Roddy?
One with Roddy? With
one with Roddy.
Kyle and Roddy arguing in the parking lot?
And Roddy screaming at Kyle like I screamed at my mother when I was like 14.
I didn't mention
the way he
that.
Doesn't move his like legs past a certain point reminds me of me.
But yeah, at one point Kyle and Roddy are arguing in the parking lot there. It's not ever like we don't get a focus in on it, but commentators are talking over it and they're just arguing. That's really it. Like two lovers having a little lover spat.
For those who don't live in this apartment, which I assume is everybody that's watching this,
I would hope
because
so.
if you live in this apartment, I'm scared actually. Mark's ad-libbing for this particular promo was perhaps my favorite part of the promo. Anywho,
Oh.
it's good.
They just love each other. They because like you don't know what they're actually saying because you can't hear any of it. They're probably just like, I want to get a beer. You want to see my wife after this too? We could all get drinks together.
I really like how that sweatshirt looks on you. And you know what? Those shoes look good too.
I think the UE logo needs a new design, but you know what? I don't mind it right now.
It's really gonna suck when Undisputed Era doesn't exist anymore, but that's fine. Sorry, man. Anyway, it is funny because like you don't hear them, and I feel like if they were actually yelling, you would have heard them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it sounded like at the time, so I could be wrong. But still, it's just
You didn't hear anything.
so funny. It's still so funny to me. Anyways,
so
one.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say after that music video, we have Kushida versus Tyler Rust.
I was about to start talking about that. The one crumb of joy that fucking Triple H gave me tonight. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rips, E-Dog, Tyler Rust, and that's about it. Man, oh man, Shevitz, I am Tyler, baby. That hair comes out of that ponytail, I'm just sitting there like, anyway, so we start with a wrist lock on Mr. Tyler Rust. Kushida gets a few kicks to Rust's leg. He attempts a second wrist lock, but instead uses that hold to take Rust down. Kushida does like a weird takedown, kind of utilizing both of like Rust's arms. I can't describe it. I just know that, like he had both of them in his hands and somehow ended up throwing Rust down flat on his back. And I was like, okay, all right, you got a match. Rust then slugs Kushida. We get an uppercut to Kushida. Kushida ends up pulling Rust's arm, singular, over the top rope. He goes up top, and Rust then pulls him down, and Kushida, like, smacks his tiny little noggin on the ground.
Yeah.
Ooh, yucky.
His feet didn't really catch him. He slipped.
Not a Tyler Rust problem, but a Kushida's shoes problem, per se. I love adding per se at the end of something where I'm not so sure about what I'm saying. Anywho, Rust immediately gets an inverted armbar on Kushida and turns that into a Kirifuda clutch. We get an arm drag and a handspring and a drop kick from Kushida to Tyler Rust. Thank God we have it. I will say it once again. Go for it. What are you going to say?
No, thank you, Toxic Biggie, for the 50 bits. So.
All right.
Shall we spin the wheel?
Should I go get my costume now?
Oh, hold on. Let me open up the dashboard real quick. All right, and we'll be adding more stuff to the wheel now that it'll be on a rarer occasion, so it'll be stuff that actually like affects us long term, like this stuff will right now. So
affects us long term. What are you gonna say? Donate a kidney?
Yeah, I mean like affects us through the podcast.
Oh.
All right, so you want to start with your spin?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
What have I done?
Spin the wheel. Sprayed with water. Okay.
I'll take it.
All right.
Of course, I just pulled my hair back.
All right, and let's spin the wheel for me. I have to wear a costume. All right, I'm gonna come in there real quick. spray with water, and then I'm gonna grab my costume.
I'm gonna have to cover my ears. My thick veil of hairs. No mas.
Make sure it's not on stream. Okay. Alright, ready. 3.
He so wanted me to turn around and face him so he could square me off in the face. That was on stream. Dick. Cold too. Oh my god. I didn't like that one bit. Now I'm like cold and damp. Gonna sit down, you think? Oh god. Fucking damn it.
Hello, everybody. It's your champ, Mark Cameron here. Is there a problem?
You haven't watched the stream before. This is Mark's UPF character that he is dressed as, and it is my worst nightmare.
Oh, it's...
What up?
Toxic Biggie wants me in a maid costume. If I had one, I would wear it.
We'll have to invest.
Yeah, we'll put an Amazon wish list in the description with a bunch of costumes.
Fund our costume changes, please.
All right.
Fund our costume changes. We'll finish whatever drink you want us to finish. Anywho, I just want to point out now that you've made me take a break. Tyler Rust is kind of like a cutie pie.
All right. So, do you want to finish off the match?
Oh yeah, I do. So, Russ goes from the inverted armbar to a Kirifuda clutch. Manages an arm drag. God damn it. We talked about Kushida with his little arm drag handspring drop kick, which he does so much better than Jeff Hardy could ever imagine doing. I know that there's a ton of people, and I only just learned this recently. Apparently, a lot of people on Tumblr really like him.
Yikes.
I don't get it. I don't see it, man. I could have seen it back when he had the blonde. I've seen pictures of that, and I'm like...
Because he looks young.
Yeah, now he just looks so tired.
And I mean...
I just want Jeff to go home.
How can you like the guy who endangered a lot of people by driving intoxicated?
As somebody who almost died in a drunk driving accident, not me as the drunk driver, obviously, not a person hit me. Fair points.
But that's not NXT. Let's talk about some NXT.
Ew. So we get a punch that just drops fucking Tyler. He avoids a kick to the arm. However, Kushida can't manage to get the hoverboard lock cinched in, so he decides to hyperextend Rust's arm anyways by falling on top of it. We get a deep fucking guillotine from Rust to Kushida. From Kushida to Rust, because Kushida cannot get the chicken wing suplex. Tyler answers that by just simply executing a back body drop, which is always my favorite way of countering anything else, where it's just no, and I yeet. There's a front face lock into a suplex on Kushida and a scissor kick to the back of Kushida's neck, which looked fucking nasty, and I didn't care for it one bit. Just kidding. I loved it. I loved every second of that fucking kick. I loved the replay that they showed of that kick. So good. We get the strangest little kick to the fucking neck or back, where Rust got his leg pulled up behind him, held it there and just dropped it on Kushida. And I thought about it and I was like, ow! Jesus. Because I know for a fact that has to hurt, because that's all of the tension in your muscle just going nope, and just coming right back down. Oh my god. Because your reflexes don't kick in at that point. Anyways. We get a soccer style kick to Kushida, and Kushida counters a cover, but is pulled just right into a sleeper. He tries to bridge into the cover, but it just suddenly fucking Rust bear hugs him, and I was like, oh, wish it were me. We get a modified bow and arrow on Kushida, but Kushida ends up breaking free. He drop kicks Rust, gets a stalker style kick to his arm, and the hoverboard lock, and Rust taps out, and sweet, sweet Malcolm Bivens is there on the sidelines just saying, okay, buddy, not today. Today wasn't your day.
Mm-hmm.
Next time. Always next time. And I was like,
he said,
I think I need a Malcolm Bivens in my life.
I think he said he wants a living wrestler, not a winning wrestler.
Yeah, and poor Tyler was like, I should have had that match. And Malcolm's like, yeah, that's okay, though. It's okay. And I was like, I don't know what version of a manager you are, but I love it.
He's the best kind of manager.
I forgot what I was missing when I didn't have Malcolm in my life, and now that I've got Malcolm back, I'm like, oh, God, I'm glad I didn't know what I was missing.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I'd miss it.
So after that, we have...
can we please talk about...
We have a little promo. You know what? No, let's skip it. Liz wants to talk about it. We'll skip it.
What was the promo? I didn't write any promo.
What did you say? What did you say you wanted to talk about?
The next match.
Oh, well,
I'm excited about the next match.
Well, we have a promo before that. We are at LA Knight's home. He opens a door. He's just angry. Says he's gonna, for knocking on his door, he's gonna knock in your head. He's talking to the camera guy. That's really it. That's all we get from it. But then we get a little enhancement talent match between Zoey Stark in her singles debut, versus Valentina Feroz.
Dude, I wasn't so sure how I was going to feel about it going into this match. Like, I didn't really know what I was going to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Miss Zoey Stark needs to calm the fuck down. Had no business coming out here tonight looking that fucking good.
Yeah.
Anywho, we get a sidewalk slam and a suplex right off the fucking bat. She slams Valentina into the corner with a short arm clothesline. Valentina, however, does get a dropkick off to the midsection of Stark, and then just like slams her down. Valentina is dropped face first into the turnbuckle. Stark kicks her in the fucking face. We get a release bridge suplex that basically snaps Valentina's fucking neck. And then a sliding knee strike to the jaw of Valentina that looked like it fucking broke her jaw. And then she just flips Valentina into her knee to win. And I was like, I knew this was gonna be, the moment I saw about Valentina, I was like, okay, enhancement talent, fine. I did not come here thinking that Zoey Stark was gonna look as good as that. And then she did. And I was like, because this is NXT, like, I fully understand that next time I see you, you're gonna be doing the same shit. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
She just needs better gear now.
She needs much better gear, oh my god.
Yeah. That's not good gear.
But after that, we have a little promo with Karrion Kross and Scarlett from a just very dark location. Undescript location. Possibly their home. They're giving Santos an ultimatum. Come to the match next week or don't. That's it. And then we have our main event in a 6-man tag match between Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch versus Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Finn Balor.
You ever heard of the word pain before?
No. Never heard of her.
Oh, man. Well, Kyle gets it. Kyle and Oney are the first to start the match. Kyle's just fucking mad, dude. Kyle is angry. We get some knee strikes that just fucking flip Oney sideways. Finn gets in off of that. We get a wrist lock on Oney. Kyle gets back in. And no one's tagging in Roddy whatsoever. Just no one. The only way Roddy really gets in at any point is because he tags himself in. And I said, hey, Kyle, maybe you could be nice to the man who, I don't know, hasn't been mean to you yet. Just saying. I don't like taking like Adam's side in this because I know I shouldn't, but also at the same time, Adam Cole Bebe is my favorite Bebe. So
he is top tier Bebe.
A prince. Anyways, speaking of princes, Kyle. So we have Danny who gets in, and Finn basically exchanges the wrist lock he had on Oney, for the one that he has on Danny at this point. Roddy then tags in on Finn, who backs into the corner. Gets in, hyperextends the arm of Danny. He takes a shot at the totally not legal Oney for no good fucking reason, but I respected it all the same. Danny tries to strike at him, gets Pete in. Pete comes in, starts grinding on Roddy and breaking Roddy's wrist, and he does this shit where like he moves somebody's arm in a way that I guess is probably fine, but when I look at it, I'm scared. I don't care for it.
This matchup here is what I've kind of been waiting for in this whole feud, was Pete and Roddy, because Roddy threw Kyle on Pete to... Pete was his teammate at the time, but he let Kyle pin Pete so that Adam and Kyle could get the win. And that was when Roddy joined Undisputed Era.
Because of like where my lipstick ends.
Mm-hmm.
Or it looks like a mustache.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry. So we get after Roddy breaks free from Pete trying to, I don't know, ruin his arm for the rest of his fucking life, we get a dropkick from fucking hell to Pete. Roddy gets hit and thrown from the ring. At this point, Oney and Danny decide that it's about time that they take the first flight of stairs in their corner and just toss them. Which, I don't know what the point was. I think maybe somebody missed a spot. Because it took the referee, who goes by no other name other than Ugly Orange Man, took him by surprise. Took me by surprise because I just watched them do it and I thought, oh, they're gonna shove that at Roddy. But they didn't. They just tossed it in the opposite direction. I was like, okay. Get a front face lock into a bad suplex attempt that doesn't really work. From Pete to Roddy. Roddy then answers that by snapping Pete's back over his fucking leg. Scary. Like Pete was stiff as a board going down onto Roddy's leg, and I was like, I mean, maybe that's what I need personally. Maybe it fixed my scoliosis, but at the same time, I don't know if Pete has that, so I don't think it's going to do any good for him. Kyle gets in off of this. Oney also gets in. They're striking for a bit. Danny gets in. There's some knees to the midsection, a leg sweep. Kyle dragon screws Pete screws and Oney. We get a punch to the face from Pete to Kyle on the way off of the apron. Pete and Kyle are the two that are in post-commercial break. Pete's just trying to break Kyle's calves or knees, I think, and like also his arms. Pete then attacks Finn for no real good reason. There's a dragon screw to Finn and a backslide to Danny. Knee to the face of Danny from, I believe, Kyle at this point, and they double clothesline each other. So Danny finally gets Pete in. Pete takes a cheap shot at Roddy. This ends up getting Finn in off of Kyle. We get a drop kick to the shins of Pete, and Pete is in the position of having his fucking leg broken by Finn, who wants the single leg Boston Crab. Pete manages to fight out. There's a kick upside the head to Pete and a front face lock on Pete. Finn gets his nice little sling blade off after sending 2 feet to the chest of Pete in the corner. Danny tries to hand Pete the title. Finn's title, mind you.
You said Danny. Danny tries to hand Finn the title.
Danny.
Roddy hands
Danny tries to hand... Danny tries to hand Pete the title.
Okay. We're not there
And the
yet.
ref is correct. You are missing the part where the title comes into play. Danny tries to hand Pete the title, most likely to smack Finn over the head with it. And the ref, ugly orange man, is distracted by this. And Finn accidentally takes the ref out. And I said, wow, Finn, real ally. And then Adam Cole, baby, super kicks Finn into that ref. Baby. There's a knee strike to Oney. None of this fucking matters, honestly, because the ref is just gone. He doesn't have any real say in the match anymore. And so the knee strike to Oney was from Roddy, who gets in, grabs the title, and taps little Phineas on the shoulder and says, hey, bud, I think this is yours. And Finn says, oh my fucking god, I'll kill you right now. And just overhead kicks him without realizing it's Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just...
But it looked like he had remorse. He looked like he had remorse for it. But
after you kick somebody in the noggin, I don't think remorse is really what you need. Maybe a time machine.
I think that was the nail in the coffin, though. I think Roddy's joining Adam, and we have two sides.
Adam has the perfect excuse where he can be like, that happened to me. Okay, I got betrayed and that happened to me, so that's what would happen to you too. If not this time, next time. So, mind you, Adam Cole has super kicked Finn and fucked off. Adam Cole then comes back because the ending of the match doesn't matter anymore. Adam Cole, however, comes back from a different direction after Pete, Danny, and Oney leave. He super kicks Finn, and then he... Sorry, I missed this part. Originally, when Adam came out and super kicked Finn into Mr. Referee, he then super kicked and suplexed Kyle into the stairs that Danny and Oney kindly exposed, which made sense suddenly. But Adam left up the ramp and then came back later, because I guess Pete, Danny, and Oney won.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So as they leave, Adam Cole comes back from like the timekeeper's area to super kick Finn just one more time and then grab his fucking title and stand with it next to him, just smiling. And I said, all right, buddy.
You got a reason.
I was like, it was nice while you were normal.
Yeah. And so that's the program. That's the end of the NXT episode. You want to move on to bests of the night?
Already, I don't even need the sign to know what we're doing for promo.
Yeah, promo is Kyle.
Well, Houston, we might have a problem.
That you missing the sign?
Have. Oh,
what are you gonna
indeed.
do?
I'm going to not do anything. Here. I don't know what happened. That's gonna be really difficult to find. Because back it was tape, it was just stuck to something.
Best and night. Alright, so...
God damn it, Vengeance Day!
Promo of the night. We started off with Kyle O'Reilly's promo in the ring, where we get the introduction of Roddy into the mix and Finn reintroducing himself. This was very emotional, and we got a very raw Kyle. Kyle looked fantastic. Roddy even looked great too. The mix of like caring and naive. Really, really great work from all of them. Finn, he was Finn. Then we had the William Regal promo Also with Santos, that was whatever. Pat McAfee promo. Nice to see him again, but that's really all I can say about that promo. We had the Kushida interview, which was nice. Definitely makes me think we're getting a gauntlet for the North American title because Bronson Reed wants it. I think Swerve said he wants it. I think Tyler Rust wants it too. So it was good. And we had the picture-in-picture promo with Kacy and Kayden talking about Zaya. That was dumb. Malcolm Bivens in the locker room with Tyler Rust. That was all right. And then we have the Dusty Rhodes Trophy presentation. My God, was this fantastic. MSK
So good.
being the boys, being so full of energy, and even when they're just reacting, they were doing it so well. Dakota and Raquel's interactions with Nia and Shayna were so good. So it makes me so excited for their match. And then Beth Phoenix joining in on MSK. It was so perfect. I loved everything to do with it. And I'm glad we got solid dates for the challenge. Rather than because I think what's happened before, I think it was once before, it was like a year before the Dusty Rhodes winners challenge for the tag team title. I don't know what year that was, but then we had the Cameron Grimes music video, which is basically the same, just with a different ending. That was funny. LA Knight promo was it was whatever. The Carrion and
It was a promo. Like
yeah.
A promo.
Yeah. And the Carrion and Scarlett promo was dumb. So, without a doubt, it was the Dusty Rhodes title ceremony.
I don't have to. We didn't have to do this because I could not agree more.
Mm-hmm.
That was the funniest shit because it was funny as hell. Plus, like a very respectable promo from the ladies. I was like,
yeah,
we got exactly what I need in wrestling nowadays, which is men being goofballs and women just being like, "I'll tear your fucking throat out." I love it.
All right, so wrestler of the night. I think I know who.
No, it was me. You don't have to go through all this.
Huh?
No, it was me.
We started off with Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I picked Ember Moon here. I thought she was great. She looked fantastic. She looked hard hitting. I mean, she wasn't perfect, but she was definitely better than everybody else in this match. Definitely better than Candice and Indi. Her and Shotzi were kind of on the same page, but I think Ember was just a little better. It mostly has to do with how hard Ember hits. Like, she makes her hits land hard. Plus, the Eclipse is a great ass move.
It works.
Then we have Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. I'll pick Leon. Every time we see Leon, it's the same Leon. Like, we don't get any fluctuations in skill set. It's always the same. He's always great. But there's never any real like, you know, no dynamics with him. Then we had Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter versus Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. I guess I'll go with Kacy. I don't know. I pick Vic Joseph for this.
What about Robert Stone?
Robert Stone might as well not exist anymore. He doesn't do anything. He's not Robert Stone anymore. I wish we had Robert Stone back.
Him.
Now we just have man in a suit on the sidelines. Sucks. I miss Robert Stone.
This is all Cameron Grimes' fault. I don't know how, but I'm gonna blame him.
Then we had Kushida versus Tyler Rust, and I will pick Tyler Rust here. Tyler Rust was fantastic. He was absolutely amazing. He constantly shows us why he's an incredible wrestler. except this time he went up against a very talented wrestler, one of the best Japanese wrestlers in the whole industry. At
least for men.
Yeah, that's true. He may not have won, but he was extremely formidable through the whole thing and matched Kushida's skills to a T. But not to say Kushida performed poorly, because Kushida was also on the top of his game today. Even though it is almost impossible to top his match against Johnny at Vengeance Day. But next we have Zoey Stark versus Valentina Feroz. I'll go Zoey Stark. Valentina was also great, but Zoey Stark really showed us like who she is, and this was a great debut from her, even though it was just enhancement talent.
I honestly think that like usually with, and this is something NXT gets right all the time, which is enhancement talent matches don't always look like enhancement talent matches. Mm-hmm. But this was incredible. I think this is probably like the dream like debut match. Like she looked nasty and she looked good.
The dream debut match was Tyler Rust.
Fair. But I just think she looked so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm genuinely excited to see more. This did exactly what this match was supposed to do. It left me wanting like a 30-minute match with her at this point.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I think you got your new Rhea Ripley, honestly.
I wouldn't say that. I think we have our new Toni Storm.
No, because she's nasty. Tony's a poodle in comparison.
And then last but not least, we had Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch versus Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Finn Balor. I'll pick Finn. Finn looked great. Finn looked fantastic today. Not as good as he did at TakeOver, but still fantastic. Of course, you still have the factor of, I mean, he wasn't part of the storyline, so he couldn't really show off his chops in terms of character that much. But I mean, for a storyline that doesn't involve him so much, he really was in the spotlight for a while.
I still could not stand when he was like, when Kyle was going off about how like, well, I want to see Adam, I need to see him, and Finn came out and was like, well, you need to get back like in line behind me, and I was like, oh, this was his brother. He gets first dibsies.
I mean, I get it. Adam attacked him first.
Cry me a river, Phineas.
Well, he did make a point. He said that this wouldn't have happened if Kyle hadn't offered his hand to Finn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kyle was a nice boy?
You don't be nice in wrestling. There's no nice boys in wrestling. Unless you're MSK.
God, you... the nicest boys. Oh.
So, this one's tough for me. It's really tough. For best of the night, I'm gonna eliminate them one by one. I'm gonna say not Kacy Catanzaro, not Leon Ruff, not Ember Moon, not Zoey Stark, and I'm gonna say it's Finn Balor.
Have you ever stopped to think that maybe it isn't Finn Balor?
That's what I just did.
Right, but it's Tyler Rust in my opinion.
Why do you think Tyler over Finn?
Because I got the notes, I've got the comparison ability here. Finn looked good for a couple minutes, yeah, but Tyler Rust looked nasty the entire match. I think that he showed off more of his stuff. And again, this is a product of being in a singles match versus a 6-man tag, which obviously you're not going to get your point across quite as easily. The Sling Blade was good. Got it.
I do just want to say there's more to a wrestler's performance than the notes you take down. Like there's details.
Yeah.
There's more that they do. You don't catch everything they do in your notes. So just saying you have the notes for it kind of doesn't do it a whole lot of justice.
I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. I've got a lot of stuff in my notes, though. I just don't think that Finn did as well as he could have. I don't think that we got quite the character out of Finn that we like are used to, especially like in the takeover match and stuff like that. It's hard for me to say, yeah, this one guy's performance in a 6-man tag match was the best thing when Tyler Rust was out there tonight just looking like a fucking superstar, even in spite of losing.
All right, well, I was planning on going with you from the start. You didn't need to be mean about it.
It was not mean.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially with that interaction he had with Malcolm Bivens at the end.
We're getting more and more of his character, and I'm loving that.
Mm-hmm. So, next we have Match of the Night. And we start off with the women's tag match between Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. It was a decent enough match. Had a botch, maybe 2, but it was good. It was pretty good. Especially the whole Austin Theory stuff surrounding it really made it much more entertaining. The fact that Candice didn't really care about winning or losing. She was just happy to have her son back. Her shitty son.
It does, however, bring into the point that somebody mentioned with Shayna in a match recently, where it's like, well, if you don't care about winning or losing, then what's the point of having the match in the first place?
Well, she cared about winning until that very last second when she saw Austin Theory.
I guess that does something for character, so I guess I can't really judge that entirely.
Yeah. Then we had Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. A pretty good match, technically. It was decent. Then we had Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter versus Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. This was bad. This was so bad. This was a horrible match. This was awful. So bad. So bad.
Oh, yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. So then we have
fair. I mean, I was just gonna say that we've gotten matches before with Aaliyah that were good. We've got matches before with Jessie Camilla that were good. We've gotten matches before with Kacy and Kayden that were matches. It's hard when you like know that there's something more that you could get from something and you don't get it at all.
Yeah. Then we had Kushida versus Tyler Rust. This was a great match. Great technical wrestling, start to finish. Great storytelling too at the end. It was great. I'm just because the match between Kushida and Johnny was like one of my favorites of all time. And then Kushida giving another fantastic performance like just a few days later. Of course, the comparisons are naturally drawing in my head where it's like, oh, look, Kushida had this match, but he had a better one. It's like, no, this was still a great match in and of itself. Tyler Rust gave a great performance. This was great for storytelling. Everything about this was fantastic.
I feel like the hard part is that it's like, I feel like after a certain point with like wrestling, it's so difficult because it's like, well, this match was amazing, and then you try to compare it to everything else that person does, and you're like, I'm never gonna get that caliber quite as good because like that was a takeover pay-per-view, or that was just like a pay-per-view in general, and you sort of have to just be like, well, this was amazing, and now I let it go into the wind. It's so difficult.
Except I know for a fact that both Johnny and Kushida are capable of delivering that caliber of match again, if not better.
That's true. I mean, we've one of my favorite Johnny matches was a regular old network show. So, I get that entirely.
Which match was that?
Swerve and Johnny. That was like the first time.
That was a pay-per-view.
Oh.
It was in your house. Oh
no!
Yeah, no, that was one of the first things we watched of Johnny. That was in your house.
Hang on.
Because we're watching.
If you're right about this, I think my head's gonna explode. Hang on, I'm gonna definitely. No, that was Great American Bash. You silly man.
It was a faux pay-per-view.
You really scared me there too, because I was like, that was in your house? Like, that felt way more recent than that, like, in your house was. I got genuinely scared. But yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of, like, the faux pay-per-views, because I think we get, like, pay-per-view caliber wrestling in a non-pay-per-view setting, which, or rather, in a network show, which is the one fucking thing that I love about NXT outside of everything else. But, like, that's one thing that I love about NXT that, like, we don't get with other, like, with the main roster.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the card for In Your House and just want to see if there's anything similar that I'm thinking of.
You really scared me, honestly. I was like, did time really go that fast?
Oh, In Your House had Keith versus Johnny.
Oh no! See, that was Johnny with the keys still.
That was.
I was still obsessed with
Keith's eye out. Johnny. That was very much his character.
I mean, we're still in heel Johnny.
Huh?
This is still heel Johnny.
No, I know.
We're still in heel Johnny time.
But when it comes to his matches, you have heel Johnny, which resorts to tricks and deception and cheating to win, and then you have takeover Johnny.
Which, to be fair, I think that putting Keith in the main roster was the best thing for NXT, because there's not a ton of massive guys, and I think that was when we got cheating Johnny the most, was when he was like, I can't fucking fight this guy.
Yeah, the key is.
Oh. Yeah, now we've got like a lot of small dudes on NXT.
But going back to the matches, after Kushida and Tyler Rust, we had Zoey Stark versus Valentina Feroz. This was a good debut. This was a really great. Well, I assume because it's. I assume her name is Spanish. They pronounce the Z in those kind of names.
Right. I'm only saying that because when I've heard the announcer say it, it's Feroz.
Well, they also mess up Fandango. So
it doesn't count. That's not a real word, and I don't trust them. He made it that specifically so I would fuck it up every other time I tried to say it.
Just for you.
Just for me. Where is he, by the way? I miss him.
They're definitely on a break. They're definitely, like, after they lost the titles, they're definitely just chilling right now. But the Zoey Stark Valentina match was good. It was a really great debut match. Really solid wrestling from both of them. Just wish Zoey Stark would get better gear. That's my only thing to say about that match.
I think she will soon, and I'm excited for that, because I think this match, I am almost positive that this match probably, like, Trips was watching and was like, yeah, that's the shit I'm looking for. That's my new daughter. And then I've lost Rhea.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, we had Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch versus Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Finn Balor. Balor. This was a great match. Balor? Great wrestling on everyone's part. The bit with the stairs was a little weird. Adam Cole.
Something was missed.
Yeah, Adam Cole at the end holding up the title just made things more confusing. Because I thought this was a whole friendship thing that was motivating this, but now it seems like it's a title thing. I don't know. We'll have to wait till next week. I'm sure there'll be something that's uncovered, but this match was good. It was good. A little chaotic, but it was really great. So if I were to give any match of the night, it would be Kushida versus Tyler Rust.
I'm not disagreeing. Kushida matches are always really fun. Tyler Rust matches have been really fun. And the fact that, and this is something that I feel like, again, the main roster always misses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, if this were the main roster, I don't think that we would get the storyline that we've been getting. But in a weird way, it's like really scary to me, is that Tyler Rust seems like Timothy Thatcher if Timothy Thatcher had like
feelings.
Yeah, those. And bless the soul of my darling dearest. Tim Tams is pretty much motivated purely by injuring others.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for him. But Tyler seems like that same level of like sadistic. But at the end of the day, he's like, okay, I didn't win, and I'm pissed off about that. But I'm gonna deal with that in a healthy way. Malcolm's there to like keep him on that track, and it's like kind of terrifying because I'm like, oh no, he's gonna be like scary good. Fuck. Ugh.
Oh yeah, it was a great way to tell a story without being too explicit about it.
Yeah.
So
it's more Malcolm Bivens.
Yeah. Run it back, our promo of the night, the Dusty Rhodes Classic Trophy Ceremony. Wrestler of the night, Tyler Rust. Match of the night, Kushida versus Tyler Rust. Liz, would you like to close out the show?
Well, golly gee, I would, because I kind of have to pee. If you watched tonight, thank you for watching. We always appreciate it. We like having people around. We could literally sit next to each other and do this, so it's nice when we have people around. But if you enjoyed this, please tune in. And if you watch this in the future, is what I'm supposed to normally say after that. If you watch this in the future, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a fun March? Late February? I don't know. Happy not leap year. Anyways, so if you enjoyed this, please tune in on Friday for our SmackDown podcast plus Elimination Chamber prediction podcast, where we predict Elimination Chamber stuff. Mm-hmm. Because golly gee, I remember when I didn't have a job and I was like, Hell Week is so much fun because like I just get to do podcast after podcast and so much wrestling and shit like that. And now that I have a job, I'm like, oh my god, so much podcasting. It was so fun when I didn't have responsibilities. Which I know you probably can't relate to because you were still always doing shit no matter what. So but anyways, please tune in. We'll be here. We'll be tired. And then tune in on Sunday for Elimination Chamber, which will also still be here and still be tired for. So.
Thank you, Liz. And now, before I even talk about following and subscribing, I have something very important to tell everybody, because tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Universal Pokemon Federation YouTube channel, a new episode premieres featuring me, Mark Cameron, in a very important battle against Weeby Villain. You won't want to miss it. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Thursday, on the Universal Pokemon Federation YouTube channel. You will not want to miss it. We'll be chatting live, watching the episode as we battle our hearts out. So, with that said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Hit that follow button or subscribe button if you enjoyed. And let us know in the comments or a suggestion box down below what you think of the show, what you would like us to change. Follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. And follow me, the Mark Cameron, and Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And if you missed part of this show or want to check out previous shows, our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. It's as simple as that. And again, check out the Universal Pokemon Federation YouTube channel. Tomorrow, Thursday, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You won't want to miss it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And we'll see you on Friday for SmackDown and Elimination Chamber predictions.